Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video, and we are back with something a bit different, but my husband and mother keep telling me I need to do this, and so I figured why not give it a go. Also, I am feeding a baby, so if you can hear him or I stop reading, which I'll try to cut out, that's why. So I have been told that I should do reaction videos because I'm apparently a very reactive person. No, like I guess it's fair, but I thought it'd be fun to start with "Am I the Asshole?" And I literally just clicked on the first story that is on here, which is incredibly recent. It was posted 11 hours ago, so most likely, if there is need for updates, there are no updates yet. Um, and I want to preference this because this one is probably pretty intense for a good bit of people. Um, this is talking about miscarriage. So, just so you know, before you get into this, if that's something that you can't handle or not comfortable with, please do not watch the first part of this video. I'll be doing two Reddit stories in this video. I don't know what the second one's going to be, but I'll let you know before the second one, and I'll put a timestamp for when the next one is, just in case. So the title is "Am I the Asshole for Calling My Husband a Disgrace After He Said My Miscarriage Ruined His Birthday?" Okay. Already, I'm gonna go with no, because that is horrible. Absolutely horrible. I've never experienced one myself. Hopefully, never have to experience it myself. I have experienced other people in my life go through that. So, it's not something that I wish upon anyone, and that should be treated in the way that it sounds like this is going to be treated. So, here we go. I miscarried yesterday afternoon about 12 p.m. I've never had a miscarriage before, and this baby was so wished for, so it's all so fresh, and I'm sobbing right now, so I apologize in advance if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. My husband turned 27 yesterday. Okay, first off, don't apologize for something like that. Don't apologize. I'm surprised you're even functioning to type this at all. I'm so sorry. I, 26 female, was pregnant with mine and my husband's 27 male second child. Yesterday, I was 8 weeks pregnant. The day before yesterday, we saw a beautiful heartbeat flickering on the screen, and today I'm devastated. Oh, that's so sad. This whole thing is so sad, but like, that's really sad that you got to experience that and now it's taken from you so early on, too. I was playing with our 2-year-old when I felt a pressure in my lower abdomen. Not long later, I noticed bleeding, and I let my husband know immediately that I had discomfort and bleeding. Before long, I had passed what I believe is the fetus, and I messaged him, "I think I lost the baby." I wanted to keep him updated, and I guess I was seeking some kind of emotional support. I asked if he could come home, and he said, "Of course, if it's urgent." If it's urgent? Dude, of course it's urgent. I said, "I think it is because the pain and bleeding is getting worse, and I'm starting to feel lightheaded, and our 2-year-old is unattended in his playroom right now. We have no friends or family near that I could call who would get to us quicker than he could." I don't care if you had family or friends to call. He should be there. I understand that maybe he was out. I'm assuming you're gonna go into this. Maybe he was out celebrating or something, and you know, you feel bad ruining the celebration, but it shouldn't be if it's urgent situation for him to come home if you genuinely think you're losing your child. I had to clean up myself, crawl downstairs to take paracetamol. I know what that word means. Can't say it. Make my son his lunch and then put him down for a nap. At this point, my husband still wasn't home. He was working approximately 30 minutes away and took closer to 60 minutes to get back. Bitch. Oh, he was at work. Okay, so that's a little different than celebrating. Hours later, when I asked, it was because he'd stopped at Tesco to pick up some beers. Okay? If there was any respect for this man in my eyes, it is gone. It is absolutely gone. I was put on bed rest. I started having issues at 6 months. I was put on bed rest at 7 months because I was at risk of having my child very early in the pregnancy. I know it's not very, very early, but that is early enough that, like, around the same early that I was born, and it was rough. But my husband, I told him I was having issues one day at work, and I said I needed to come home, and he immediately came and picked me up. Didn't even think about it. He immediately picked me up. I'm pretty sure he sped to pick me up. Anyway, I ended up very poorly, losing lots of blood, lightheaded, vomiting, etc. And he had to take me to A&E. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming like an emergency care place. By the time I was discharged, it was almost 8 p.m. Last week, I had said I'd make him his favorite dinner for his birthday, which he reminded me when we were almost home. You're fucking kidding. You piece of shit. You expect her to treat you on your birthday. I know it's your birthday, but you expect her to treat you on your birthday after she just lost a baby and you were shitty to her in the first place and she could have died and you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even care probably. That's he just burped, by the way. I said I wasn't feeling up to it and that whatever takeaway he wants is on me. He said, for fuck's sake, you piece of shit, under his breath, and then muttered something along the lines of, this bullshit has ruined my birthday. You wanted this child? I feel like he didn't want this child. You sleep? Girlie, I genuinely feel like he didn't want this child. I've heard that the terrible twos is a horrible stage, or a really hard struggle for some people, and probably a lot of people. I have a friend that's currently parenting through the terrible twos. From my understanding, it's hard. But he doesn't sound like he wanted this child at all. If he's reacting this way, I get it's his birthday, but it's horrible. He didn't stop to get any takeaway. He just drove straight home. He put our son to bed, and I went to bed, and I'm not sure what he did after. I didn't see him this morning, as he had already left for work. He's not messaged me all day, and he got home a few hours ago. It's now 8:40 p.m., and he's been giving me silent treatment. I want your home address, please. Or give me his work address. If you don't feel comfortable giving me your home address, I want his work address. Dyslexia, I'm losing it. I tried to speak to him about an hour or so ago, and he ignored me, and I called him a disgrace. He slammed the bedroom door and locked me out of the bedroom. His mom has since messaged me and said I need to be patient as he also had a loss. I don't care. He's not treating this like a loss. She didn't ask how I was or anything. She's also a bitch. Um, he's obviously speaking to his mom, but why isn't he opening up and speaking to me? She said I was harsh. How long have you been married? I'm feeling utterly emotionally neglected right now. My body has been through emotional and physical hell. I understand that my miscarriage came at a fucking inconvenient time for him, as it was his birthday and all. I'm not sure if it is the hormones making me feel crazy, but it's nuts to is it nuts to contemplate, God, sorry, divorce? Am I an asshole for calling him a disgrace? Absolutely not the asshole for calling him a disgrace. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're not the asshole for that. He's a piece of shit for all of this right now. I understand that it was his birthday and that he might have been a bit irritated that his birthday got ruined. Personally, if I wasn't the one that had the miscarriage and this happened to my partner, if I was in a different kind of relationship, if I was putting myself in his shoes, that's how I'm going to put this. If I was putting myself in his shoes, I would be there for you. I would put everything on hold. Forget my birthday. It's not important. It's the least important thing on my mind right now and will be for a long time, probably. Um, Divorce his ass. I don't I don't care how long you've been married. I don't care if you've been married for like 10 fucking years. You said you were 26, 27. I'd be a little concerned if you were married for 10 years. But um I don't care if you're married for 10 years. I don't care that you have a child in this. Obviously I care for the child, but if he's reacting this way to your miscarriage, um honestly, I don't think he deserves to be around that kid. The kid you do have. No, I don't I'm so angry right now. I am a new mom. I did not, this is literally the first post on this page that I saw. I am a new mom. My son is 2 months old. I don't care what your husband is feeling and how angry he is about his birthday. He not once mentioned that the miscarriage is affecting him. He mentioned how the miscarriage affected his birthday, not affecting him emotionally. That is completely two different things. Nothing to do with each other and should never, never have anything to do with each other. And his birthday should not be the main priority here. And his mother is a fucking piece of shit. Don't know if you ever liked her in the first place, but she's a piece of shit. I'm so angry for you. Please, please divorce him. Please divorce him. If I keep going off about this, I'm going to like scream. And my husband's in the other room sleeping, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna read some comments, I think. Uh, okay, this one's the first one's explaining the importance about miscarriage and that she might still be in danger, which I really hope she's okay. The next one says, he's lucky all you did was call him a disgrace. I'd be calling him my ex-husband. He knows my son is home alone with you, and he stops for beer. Yeah, right? Mm. Me or my husband are not drinkers, but he would not stop for anything. Um, it's one thing if he couldn't leave work or cannot leave immediately. He chose to make a needless stop. Then you lost a lot of blood and were just all around in a bad way. And he says it ruined his birthday. I'm getting more angry as I'm reading this. He wants you to cook. You said that before you lost the baby, before you had to go to the hospital for losing lots of blood, the lack of care is shocking. Okay, so they were talking about her saying that she would cook before losing the baby. Um, the lack of care is so shocking. Take the time to heal. You still might want to reconsider this marriage. I know it would be over for me. I highly doubt this is the only time he's shown this complete disregard for your well-being. I agree. I feel like this has just opened your eyes because of how dramatic of an event this is and how dramatic he's being of this event. Um, but there's a strong chance that this has happened before. Something like this has happened where he did not care about your feelings and you just kind of brush it off. As someone that had been in a lot of abusive relationships in the past, both emotionally or physically, please leave, please leave. Please get a divorce. And please use this as evidence for the safety of your son. I believe you said it was your son. Your first child, your 2-year-old. Please. Okay, it just says our 2-year-old. I don't think it says our son. Either way, use this as a way to get custody. Because personally, if he cares so little about your well-being, I don't think he will care for your child's well-being in a traumatic event. And this is horrible. And I need to find something else before I scream at something. Especially because my child just fell back asleep and I don't want to wake him up. I'm so angry. I am so angry right now. Okay, the next post I'm hoping is lighter and not gonna piss me off as much. It might piss me off and just based off of what it is. So the title is Am I the asshole for not letting my coworker stay at my place even though I have space? And I have space is in quotation marks. So this is probably something they said specifically. So I, 23 female, live alone in a small 2-bedroom house. Ooh, go you. 23. Nice. One room is mine. The other one is basically my everything room. Oh, felt that. I have one of those. It's my office, my closet, storage. Sometimes I just lay on the floor in there and stare at the ceiling for when life sucks. That's fair. It is not a guest room. I've lived with horrible roommates before, so I worked really hard to be able to afford my own place. And I love having my space. It's literally my space. My space. Sorry, my safe little bubble. I can read. Anyways, one of my coworkers, 25F, got into a huge fight with her roommates and they kicked her out. Ooh. But that was an interesting fight. She was venting at work and I felt bad and was like, that sucks. Oh my God. And even sent her a few places to look at. I was trying to be helpful without inviting chaos into my life, you know? I do know, unfortunately. I've had some pretty shitty roommates myself. Later that night, she texts me something or saying, hey, I was thinking maybe I could just crash with you for a few weeks since you live alone and have the space. You were not invited. I get that you're asking, but you weren't invited in the first place. If she wanted to invite you, she would have. She did not. I literally got that sinking feeling in my chest. No, 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 no. I'm not even close to her. We're cool at work, but we've never even hung out outside of lunch breaks and complaining about our boss. She doesn't know anything about me, and I don't know her like that. Why would she live in my house. Also, you don't know the actual reason why she was kicked out. She probably did something really fucking messed up and got kicked out. Or, she's just a shitty roommate. Either way, she was kicked out. It's not the other way around. She was kicked out. So something happened. And you said roommates, so multiple. So two people had to have agreed to kick her ass out. Don't bring her to your home. Ever. Never had that thought process. Okay, so I've applied super politely. Like, I totally get that you're going through it, but I really value my space, and I'm just not in a place where I can have someone stay with me. Like, I was nice, didn't ghost her, didn't ignore her, just said no. That's all you need to say. No is a full sentence. Next day, she's acting really weird. Then another coworker tells me she said I let her be homeless when I have an entire room to myself. Like, girl, first of all, she's staying at her boyfriend's place. Second of all, I pay to live alone. That's the whole point. I don't want to feel tense or uncomfortable in my own space. I don't want to tiptoe around a person I barely know. And I definitely don't want to deal with just a few weeks turning into I'm looking, but nothing's coming through yet. For 2 months. Girl, it'll be way longer than 2 months. Now people at work are acting like I'm the bad guy. Sorry for not letting a coworker move into my apartment because she had a bad fight. I don't know. I feel bad, but also no. Am I the asshole? Okay, there's an update. I'm gonna wait to tell you that update before I make this comment. Okay. So I've had really shitty roommates. I've had two really shitty roommates actually. I am 23 years old. I am currently living at home because I have a child and a husband, and we are living with my mother because we were put in a really bad financial situation. I had to leave work. Before I left work, it was because of my pregnancy and that my pregnancy was really bad and hard and I couldn't physically handle it. And on top of that, I started having preterm labor because of my work, because they wouldn't allow me accommodation. So I had to leave work pretty much. Before I got approved for disability, I was working maybe 1 day a week. I went from 5 days to 4 days when I was about 2 or 3 months pregnant because I realized I physically was struggling. I think I was around 4 months pregnant when we realized why I was struggling so much. Some kind of genetic situation. Don't worry about it. If you're interested, I'll tell you later. But I went from working 4 to 5 days a week, making $1,000, a little bit more than $1,000, to making maybe $100 a week. It was bad. It was really, really hard. And then right after I realized I was really struggling, I needed to go on bed rest, or at least get a note to get accommodation. So they had to give me an accommodation, which that's a whole thing in itself. My husband lost his job. So we went from being able to survive on 2 incomes, barely, to having to survive on mine, where I was pregnant and really struggling. When he lost his job, I was still fairly early in my pregnancy and I was actually working pretty normally. I did drop down 2 days from working, but I had to force myself to work more because I had to handle all the bills myself. And the reason that is because we had a roommate that we had one rule. We lived in an apartment, so it was an apartment complex rule. No smoking weed on the compound, let alone in the apartment. That was also a rule for ourselves because my husband and I don't agree with weed. We don't care if you're a weed smoker. It's not a big deal. We don't want to be around it. If we can avoid it, we do. If it's like we're outside and you're smoking, fine. That's not an issue. If you're in our home, that's an issue. That was our one rule with moving in as a group. No weed. And he broke that rule. And I found out because I was sick at home. And that was before I was pregnant. And I confronted him. We both confronted him. He agreed to stop smoking and that he didn't mean to. We just didn't think about it. Didn't believe that, but whatever. And then he continued. And then when I got pregnant, we had the conversation again. He him to stop. And he didn't. And there was multiple times where I was physically ill from the amount of weed that I could smell in our apartment when he knew I was home because he was smoking. So we pretty much gave him an ultimatum, and I told him he was kicked out. He tried to lie to say he wasn't smoking, it was something else that was happening. And I let him stay solely because of the bill situation. And then he decided to leave because my mother, the bitch that she is, got involved because he was putting myself and my child's life, not life, but health in danger because he wasn't listening. Either way, shitty roommate, crappy situation. I totally understand your point of view, and I totally understand why you wouldn't want someone that you don't know in your home. I knew this person. I trusted this person. He made a very big deal about not smoking that stuff when he lived in my one-bedroom apartment with me. When he went through something horrible, and I was trying to be a decent person. Being a decent person often gets you screwed. But yeah, we're living here because we are trying to dig ourselves out of a financial hole, and now we have a child and hospital bills that it's even worse. So big financial hole. Anyway, let me read the update. So, update. She went to jail. I read that immediately after reading the first part of this post, and I really wanted to give my comments in before I brought this up. Don't know what happened, but I feel horrible to say I laughed. No, you should laugh. That's hilarious. Well, solves that issue. Edit, because I have to highlight my favorite comment. Oh, she highlighted her favorite comment. Go up to the people that had something to say and tell them they are horrible for not bailing her out. Do it. Do it. I don't care if it causes issues at work. There's so much drama revolved around different situations at work. Do it. That's amazing. I want to know what she got put to jail for. You should figure that out. This was 3 days ago. Please figure that out. I want to know. Also, I took about my roommate that I had that put my husband and I in a financial hole. By the way, my husband does have a job now. I'm currently still on maternity leave, thankfully, and hopefully we'll have a better job in the next coming weeks. Fingers crossed. Please keep me in your thoughts. I'm not gonna tell you what's happening because I don't want to jinx it, but keep me in your thoughts. Keep me in your thoughts, please. But we found out 2 or 3 days ago that roommate, who we actually worked with when we were both working at this job, has been fired for smoking weed on the job. So much validation in that information. There's so much shit. I have a lot of crazy roommate stories. Literally, I've only lived with 5 people before. Not at once, but 5 people that was not my mother. Before this. But I have some crazy ass fucking stories. Um, my first 2 roommates, if you want to hear stories about that, please specify you want to hear stories about the horror show that was my first 2 roommates. Not my first two, not exactly both of them, only one of them. And the other one I'm actually best friends with. But if you want to hear those stories, I'm gonna have to ask her permission if it's okay, because there's a whole mess around that. But if you're interested, put in the comments roommate and best friend information, please. Please do that. I will gladly tell that story if I'm given permission. And if I'm not given permission, I will reply to those comments to let you know that I have not been given permission. I will have to ask. But I have a bit more issues with the other roommate. That's pretty damn bad. So I'm willing to give those out because I have no ties to him anymore, and I don't care to ever have ties to him ever again. And if I ever see him, I will ignore the crap out of him. I want to say harm him, but I can't, and I won't. But am I sad that he lost his job for the exact reason that put me and my husband in a financial hole? No, no, I'm not. I'm actually really happy about it. Let's read some comments because those are fun. So the first one is not the a-hole. I don't understand why a coworker would feel entitled to your home. That's truly bizarre. Her life is not your responsibility. I mean, I could maybe get it if you were super close and good long-term friends with a deep connection, but casual coworker, OP responded, literally just a casual coworker. I don't get it. I don't think anyone gets it. No one's gonna get that. Oh, not the asshole. You need to find out firsthand why her roommates and boyfriend don't want to live with her either. Yes, that's exactly what I said. You should do that. I also, someone, please, she needs to tell why she's arrested. Someone needs to figure that out. She needs to figure that out. I want to know. She responded to this one. She's very active in the comments. I'm definitely understanding it now, seeing the reaction after saying no. I am a homebody and really enjoy my personal space. Given the fact I work 2 jobs, oh, I'm sorry, and my home is my only carefree space. Girly, you enjoy your carefree space. Currently, my carefree space is interrupted by a beautiful, beautiful baby. But I don't care. As you can see, my background, this is my carefree space. If I could live in the worlds that are happening here, that'd be awesome. I can't, but it'd be awesome if I could. Not the asshole. For the coworkers saying you're letting the girl homeless, etc., etc. Do you see them offering a place for her to crash? Exactly. Yeah. I agree. Uh, roommates are not fun. The only roommate that I've only like 2 of my roommates. I've had 5, or okay, I have like 3 of them. But honestly, one of them's my brother-in-law, so I don't know if that counts. One's my best friend, one's my brother-in-law, and one's my husband. So I don't know if those count. I did become best friends before we moved in with her. Just to preference that. But they can be really shitty. Ones that aren't really, really connected to you and care about you, and it's hard to see that. It is hard to see that. I know, I'm aware of that. I don't know what experiences you went through before you got your home. Congratulations on being able to afford your home and everything like that. That's amazing. Good job for you. I know you're working two jobs, which I'm sorry, but you seem to be managing it. It sounds like you are, and I hope it's going okay. His mouth is like agape right now. So cute. And I can't take a picture because that's my camera. Um, but yeah, no, roommates can be really, really shitty. I have a lot of friends that went to regular college. I did online college. Currently I'm still in it. I'm supposed to graduate this year. Please keep me in your prayers. I don't know if that'll happen very easily. I have to do an internship that I still haven't done. And I have a 2-month-old. So I don't want to do an internship. But I have friends that went to college, normal college, where they actually lived on campus and everything. And I've never heard a single one of them that I've known like their roommate, especially their first roommate they ever had. Um, One of my best friends, she went to college. Her and her roommate had like completely two different schedules. She had to be up at like 8 a.m. to go to class, probably earlier than that. I don't know. I don't remember. It was years ago now. Um, but they lived in this really, really tiny dorm. Their dorm was really, really tiny. Like honestly feels tinier than this room is. That I'm sitting in right now, and we have a full 7 foot, probably, probably about 10 foot desk in here. These bookshelves and a bed pressed against the wall. This I'm pretty sure is bigger than their dorm was. Um, but they had completely different life or experiences their freshman year. This girl wanted to party all the time. My friend, best friend, did not. She was doing her degree, which she's gone and gotten her master's degree now, I think. I think she's completed it, or she's currently working towards it. I'm gonna have to check on that. But degree, master's degree she was working on. Had to do an internship, which she now has a job in, which I'm very proud of her for. Um, and she was doing sports the first year of freshman year, to my knowledge. That is goals. I commend her so well for her ability to multitask. Uh, However, having a roommate that is up all night and wants to party and is coming in at like 3 a.m. probably pretty shitty. Probably really, really shitty. I don't know. I'm awake with a baby all the time right now. Kind of weird to feel, especially because I never had roommates. First year I was here, I was living with my mom. Because I moved states when I started college, just by choice. Um, Living with my mom, and then I lived with the first two roommates, which was my best friend and the other person that I'm not gonna go into right now. Um, Lived with them for less than a year, actually. It was going to be a year, and then I moved out because it was so bad. Mm, but I like moved out for the last like 4 months. I had left and stayed with my mom for 2 months and then went back for about a month for work reasons. And um, at the end of that month, I was back and forth trying to avoid being in that home as much as possible. And then I got my apartment by myself, and I lived for about 6 months by myself, almost. For like 5 months by myself, and then a month with a roommate, which was the shitty ass roommate that ended my financial security. Um, and we moved in. We lived together for a month then, and then there was about a 2-ish month gap where I was living with my boyfriend at the time, currently husband. Until we could get a bigger apartment, all of us together. And then he lived with us for I think 2 months before all the shit hit the fan. 2, maybe 3 months. And then, yeah, I don't know. That was one mess. Now we're living here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I might sit and record another one here in a minute because I enjoyed recording it, and I hope you enjoyed my random rambling. I will edit a bit of this. I don't know how much I'm going to edit, but I will edit a bit of this. If you're interested in me reading more Am I the Assholes or doing reaction videos, send me reaction videos to react to. I will do it. I will do it. It's so fun to react to things. I just never record my reaction to things, which is what I need to do apparently. Yeah, if you enjoyed, make sure to put some sugar on that like button, comment down below anything you would like to see, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!